growing up in separate households. My parents, it was about as dysfunctional as it could be, where my mom has been married like 5 times, and my dad just really not trying to be a role model for me. So I really didn't know who I was for, a better part of my life until I was about 16 in high school. This woman my mom worked with invited us to go to Gold Creek Community Church, and so we went consecutively for a few months, and one Sunday, just like any other, the pastor was wrapping up the service, and he kind of looked out and was like, I want to do something different. I want to invite anybody who's feeling that feeling, pounding on their heart to come on up here and get baptized. I remember standing up and looking at my mom like, I'm going up there, and got under the water with the pastor, and the moment I came up out of that water, it was like the window had been wiped clean, the dust was wiped away, and that want Charlie Brown feeling was now clear. I understood the basics of what it meant to live for Jesus, not really so much of how to do it, like the right or wrong way, since I didn't have anyone kind of guiding me. I bought a Bible and tried to read it. It was very intimidating. There's so much in there. I was like, where do I start? Where do I flip through? I kind of would stray from God, because to me it felt like it was too much to live for him at times. Every guy has a struggle with pornography or whatnot, and that was my struggle at the time, with just feeling that need of fulfillment in so many different ways. I didn't know how to be. I didn't know how to live, and I started to lose myself a little bit here and there. And so it kind of went on like that for a few years after being saved. And when I was 21, I met my wife. We got married, and we were going to Northshore, and I was wanting to live for God, and I could feel myself kind of going on that positive path. And just being in that sales environment where it's just surrounded by women, it was so icky, and I started to kind of fall back of that route of needing to have that fix. How do I rid myself of this? How do I break this chain? So this process went on for a while of me just trying to do it myself, failing every time. I'd make strides, I'd go okay for a few months and whatnot, but just it wasn't enough. My friends were telling me I was changing, coworkers didn't want to be around me. I just had a horrible lifestyle, for me just being selfish, and even though I would tell myself, Chris, what you're doing is wrong, I wasn't strong enough to save myself. About a year and a half ago, I would say, is when Jesus really got a hold of me, and it was like fight or flight, kind of this was the defining moment where I had allowed this ick into my marriage, and it was tearing apart my life. It was affecting me as a dad and as a husband, and just as a person with everyone I came in contact with. I woke up one morning, I remember getting ready for work and sitting in the car, and I couldn't move. I was just sitting in the driveway, and I was like, something is different about today. This has to stop today. I'm good friends with Brandon Schumann, and I was like, I gotta call him. And I called him right then and there, and I said, hey buddy, can I come and see you? It's an emergency, I gotta come and see you. And I just unloaded in his office on the floor, just bawling my face off, telling him how far I've fallen and just the person I've become. And he just listened to me and kind of helped, gave me some pointers on how to just straighten myself out, So I zipped out of his office, drove back home, just ran upstairs and sat down with her, and we just bawled, because we both knew how far I'd fallen and the mistakes I'd made, and she knew my heart was so lost, and the way I woke up the next morning, it was just I didn't have this burden on my chest anymore. I didn't feel so heavy. I was seeing things different. I was thinking different. It's not like a 24-hour detox and you're clean again. There's still struggles, but that day, just knowing that I wanted to choose Jesus, and just being able to reflect on how far I'd fallen and what it was costing me, how it was weighing on my marriage, and as a dad, it was easier to say no. I was on my knees bawling. I was the worst of the worst, and he met me right where I was. I didn't need to put on a fancy tie and a suit to come to him and say, God, please fix me. No, it was literally crying out to him, bawling my face off, saying, I need you, Jesus, please, I need you.